Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Hopefully, everybody had a great day, guys. Okay, guys, amazing, and insane day in the markets today. Deep seek, deep seek. It's all about that today. So we'll talk in detail what happened today, why NVIDIA lost 600 billion in market cap, why every semiconductor lost millions and millions of dollars worth of market cap, and why the market lost trillions overall in the market caps of various stocks. We'll talk about why Apple was strong, why were we long Apple today, how did we manage our NVIDIA, and how did we short every other semiconductor with the plan, and what were other opportunities that came out of this. We'll discuss that in detail. Let's do a first introduction for everyone. All right, guys. Anybody who's new to my YouTube video recaps, my teachings, you new to my Twitter or new to my community, all these recaps and teachings and trade reviews that I do every day is based upon a repeatable system, and it's based upon any trade ideas we share in the community, any trade ideas I share on my Twitter or our company Twitters, or anything I share with you guys in previous YouTube videos. We trade a repeatable system called Ripster EMA cloud system. That system is used by thousands of traders across the world to trade the markets consistently. We trade repeatable setups, and those setups are based upon our EMA cloud system. We trade a setup, we trade a stock or an option or an ETF, or even if the futures, based upon our system. If a system or setup tells us, we take it. If it says no, we don't take it. We can be bearish, we can be bullish, we can trade both sides same day. So we are going to discuss, I'm going to show you how that in these video recaps, and we discuss that. So every morning we have a game plan. You see the game plan right in front of you for this morning. You see we have a support and resistance. We have initial bias on all these game plans. So like, for example, you see today's game plan, the red ones are high focus. You see that we have NVIDIA news, SPY news, Meta is on our focus plan. You have Microsoft, a bunch of other names, semiconductors ETF. So we will go through all these names and see how they panned out, and see how we made profits, or how, if there was a loser, how did we manage a losing trade. So our focus is every day to have small losers, big winners, based upon that system. In addition to that, we also share daily levels for SPY, QQQ, IWM, all those stocks, and then we share levels for the crypto stocks, Coin, MSTR, CLSK, and Bitcoin, right? So we provide these levels to the traders. In addition to that, we also have something called day 2, day 3 setup. This is my repeatable strategy, which I discussed in a free webinar, and there's a webinar in the community, how to trade this repeatable strategy. I teach this every day. You can watch my previous videos. I have over 1,000 plus videos, shorts to learn my system, and you can see how even before I had a community, you can go to Ripster Education and you can see thousands of testimonial how my education has changed so many lives. You can go to our Tanner Trade Group website as well, see how the education and the tools I provide, the system I provide, has helped change many lives. So anyways, I'm on the voice in the community in the first few hours of the market open, guiding the traders through the market guidance. What's the trend looking at? If any trade setup I like, share that, and making sure the traders are doing the right setups and they're not getting stuck in anything wrong side. So we'll discuss all that. Thousands of traders are on our trading floor all day long, sharing ideas with everyone. A lot of opportunities to make consistent living in the market, keeping our losers small, winners big. So anyways, we do have bunch of our option scanners, news scanners, and breaking news alerts, various tools worth $500-$600, which are free in the community for everyone, to help everyone in the trading. So anyways, let's start with the first recap of the day. All right, let's start talking about what happened today. Okay, so over the weekend there was this we had this news on this deep seek. By the way, follow Tanner Research, where we have our research focused Twitter account, where we post all the research and analysis on the stock market and investing research. So DeepSeek is a Chinese startup which has developed an advanced AI models which use relatively less resources. This is what they claim. We don't know if that's true, but this is what they claim. They use less resources, less hardware, and better performance. Better AI models. So that's a big deal, because the reason we see this AI revolution, we have data centers, the whole ecosystem of the semiconductor stocks, starting from NVIDIA, AMD, AVGO, everything is based upon the how much money we're going to spend on AI. Now, if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, we don't need to spend too much money on AI," then means that most of these semiconductor stocks in future they're going to do less sales, less revenue, and that means less profit. So so in layman terms, let's say that based upon the hardware AI needs right now, we are going to spend 3 trillion in next 2 years. Now, if somebody comes in, he says, you don't need to spend 3 trillion, you can just spend 500 billion and do much better. So guess what? That 2.5 billion, which nobody is going to spend, is going to be taken out of from the perspective revenue of these artificial companies providing hardwares, semiconductor companies, and chip companies. They are going to take the hit, right? And it's all hypothetical. Nothing is proven right now. So that's why market got scared. That's why NVIDIA lost 600 billion in market cap today. And that's fine. And that's why a lot of the other sectors, like cloud sectors, those software companies, they started to run today, because you don't really need hardware anymore. I mean, again, that's all the claims. You don't really need hardware to make more powerful AI. You can use AI to make more AI, if that makes sense. You can use, I think it's called agentic AI. So you can use AI to train AI with less resources. So that means the computers, the cloud companies, which will have more to do with it, because we are going to use the software to do the more machine learning than we're going to use the hardware. So that's why you will see the strength in a lot of these cloud companies, and why they were a lot of those were doing good. For example, Meta, which we'll talk about. Meta has big capex for AI. If they have to spend less, good for Meta. They save that money. That money goes into their profit if they have to spend less on capex. So that's why Meta was running. So this was all what was happening was. And what we realized, that if you look at the chart, and you can go to the Tanner research and read all the research we have. If you look at the chart, I mean, we can say whatever, overreaction, this and that, doesn't really matter. The stock never really bounced all day long, right? Semiconductors never really bounced all day long. That's why if I go to the SAMIs, that's why there was, you can say whatever, but the system was bearish all day. So if you look here, the first thing I told in the market today in the community was all SAMIs are on watch list, follow the cloud system. I did highlight it as a red. So these are all the SAMIs. These were all shorts. When I was on voice, I mentioned all these SAMIs that you can literally short any of these SAMIs, starting from SOXL, Marvel, AVGO was the best short. Then you go to NVIDIA, we'll talk about later, Taiwan SAMI, Micron, SMCI, ARM, Dell. Dell was big hit, because Dell is, providing all the data center infrastructure, is going to take a big hit. Micron took a big hit, because if you don't need the memory anymore to go along with your NVIDIA chips to make that extra hardware for artificial intelligence applications, it's going to take more hit. So that's why. So you need to understand. And in our community today, under my teachings, nobody was buying dips on semiconductor. We tried NVIDIA dip at the open. We'll talk about it. That didn't work, but we were out right away. So we were not really buying any of the dips, be it AMD, whatever it was. We were just short. SAMIs were all short. Today, SAMIs were all short. I mentioned SAMIs heavy, SOXL heavy, TSM heavy, Micron Dell SMCI heavy. Everything was a short. It was that easy and that simple. That's why we're going to go and see my tweets as well. I talked about that. how the SAMIs are going selling off. So you need to understand this, and we'll talk about our energy shorts as well, because energy stocks like nuclear energy, we talk about more energy needed to create artificial intelligence applications using this hardware. Hardware needs the energy, so nuclear energy is the next big thing. That's why those stocks were going. So if nuclear energy is not going to do anything, those stocks are also going to lose their future potential revenue, market cap, everything goes down. So you see, I continuously, was guiding about short, short, short. And I was very proud of the traders in community today. They literally killed it. The puts literally, even though it's gapping down, doesn't really matter. Our system tells us a short. AMD gapping down, who cares? 512 breaks, bearish. You see this? 3450 reject, it's a short, right? So take anything. Look at AVGO. MTF clouds break, short. So under the cloud, Ripster clouds bearish. Micron, breaking that level, bearish. So you just these are all the shorts in the community, that you could take and benefit from them. So that was especially the semiconductor list. And if it's ready to go up, we will trade it long. If it's ready to go up, we will trade it long. But for now, this scare is real. If this scare was not real, we would have had a big bounce and recovery. But investors are not really, unless of course Chinese they're lying. You never know. That's what they say. But for now, market needed an excuse. Remember, we were SPY was at all-time highs, rejected double top, and we needed an excuse for a correction. The correction is fine. But but you need to know when to buy and when to stay away. So we'll see what happens. Today was all about being short on these names and selling your position. If tomorrow 117 does not hold, NVDA is going to be in trouble. As always, I'll keep updating on Twitter, and of course live guidance in the community, when to buy, when to sell, when to short. But today, amazing day on semi short in the community, SOXL, or you could long SOXS as well. But understand it. Do not just say that overreaction, blah blah, market manipulation. Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, if you are losing money, doesn't really matter what you say. You need to have a system and follow a system rather than having personal opinions. If system says it's bearish, you need to cut your long positions, or you need to readjust your positions, or you need to hedge with the shorts according to the system. Just like we did in the community today, Sammy short all day on this deep seek. Hopefully you understood the complete the analysis behind the action today. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's have a look at NVIDIA. So few important things in NVIDIA. This is very important, especially those who are in the community. We took NVIDIA long at the open when it was bouncing from this 124 support. But that was just an amateur move. At the end of the day, it was an amateur move. So NVIDIA extended to the downside will have huge range, only long 512 calls, watch the markets and SAMIs for confirmation, right? So you see 125.50 was my support. It held it, but we never crossed 128 and 130. It's important to understand, we never really pushed over these resistance levels, and we never really pushed over these resistance levels, or we never really pushed over 3450 clouds. We tried this long at the open one, and we pushed 512s, but once I saw that we are not crossing the resistance level that I gave in the pre-market, we're not going to go anywhere. And once this started breaking, I started to give the warning, that's time to get out. Put your stops at 124. If you're still in, put your stops right here. But this was the time to get out. So anyways, let's look at NVIDIA recap here. You can see that at the open, I said NVIDIA long, 932s. We pushed from that. We definitely pushed from NVIDIA 125 longs. We pushed towards 128. But I did say that 128, 130 clear levels to clear. And then there is a new buyer who came at 125. So that becomes our next risk. But when 125 did not hold, we cut it. I said 125 didn't hold, we cut it. Loser to scratch trade, depending on where did you add. But you need to understand that trend was still bearish. We were trying to take the 512 longs, which did not work for us because it's a B minus. because 128 level did not clear, 130 level did not clear. And just like I said in the pre-market planning, we need to watch the semiconductors, right? The semis never confirmed SOXL was bearish, so NVIDIA couldn't do anything if the whole sector is bearish. You can see that right here, whole sector is bearish, so NVIDIA is bearish, right? So then we cut at 125. Then when it broke this pre-market lows, I said short, but of course no chasing. And you said the bounce at 512, you short here. Then once it was breaking the final 123 level, then I said if it breaks that, we are going to hit 120. So that was my guidance to everyone that we're going to hit 120. We hit our 120 target, right? We hit our 120 target. This was all the voice guidance. And then we kept moving the stops down. Let me show you. So we kept moving the stops down. We moved the stops to 122s, still kept rejecting the clouds. You see here, still rejecting the clouds. Then we moved the stops to 120, 150. Then we moved the stops to 120. So every time it's rejecting, 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 rejecting. Then suddenly a buyer comes at 117. Let's see here. It tried to curl. It tried to curl here and it failed the curls, and then it cleared the 117 buyer and it flushed. Then the 117 buyer came back in, and then it did give us a 512 curl, but that was end of the day. I didn't take it because it was too late for me to take a curl. I didn't swing it. I personally liked AVGO more, which I'm going to talk about it. So it did give you a curl right at the end. It pushed like $4 or $5 after that. It's now giving up again. It's again bearish because we are not out of the woods yet, guys. We don't know yet. We do not really know that. You don't just sell so much and just bounce next day. The bounce was this, and now it's breaking 3450 clouds again. We'll see what analysts say tomorrow. There's going to be some analysts coming in. But if there is truth to the deep seek, if there's any truth, and if this thing gets hard next few days, next few weeks, then analysts are going to lower the margins on NVIDIA. So understand that, if there's any truth. And then NVIDIA might not be the same lucrative option, and again, we don't know yet. Maybe it's all fake. Maybe you do need NVIDIA. But even if there's a little bit of chance that you do not need such an advanced hardware to develop advanced model of AI, then we have a problem. Okay, so do not get biased. Long-term investors should still use 100 as a risk for NVIDIA. All day short, failed long loser, and all day short, beautiful winner for the community with the pre-market planning, full guidance on the voice and on the time-stamped screenshots. Let's go to the next one. Let's recap SPY QQQ. There's not much to recap on SPY QQQ. Although we were getting the longs, we did get 3 or 4 points long on SPY QQQ and take that, but we never pushed into the gap. So we had this on SPY QQQ. So let's look at here. SPY calls were 512s. So for SPY QQQ, today was not the best time with the options. Maybe with the shares or futures, you were fine, but it was not the best with the options. So initially, when the market opened, and our plan was simple. If VIX goes down, it was again SPY VIX strategy. If VIX goes down under 20, we will long it. And that's what VIX did. VIX broke down. You long it, 594, 595. We pushed into 598. That decent little move on SPY, at the open on that. You can see that if you want to see, let's see here at 590. We can look at the 595 calls for tomorrow. They moved like $3 to $5, right? So there was definitely money to be made right at the open on SPY. But after 10 a.m., it pulled back, held 512 clouds, tried to break out again, failed again. And when this happened, I told everybody to get out. So I told everybody to get in long 931, long 33s. You see the timestamp. And I told finally everybody to get out here around 11 a.m. So same thing for QQQs. Long here, get out here. It did give you a 512 dip, but you can clearly see that we are not clearing these levels. We are not clearing this level. We could not clear this level. So it's crystal clear what was happening. There was a bullish setup, but semiconductors were so weak and a lot of other tech was so weak, it just did not let it go higher. right? So you can you can clearly see the price action on this cup and handle where your long setup was. So that was the only long setup, long here, maybe long this 512 dip. That's it. And after that, if you longed here, get out here. There was no trade after that. It was just a paper cuts. Was just paper cuts, paper cuts, paper cuts. So that was my guidance on the SPY QQQ long. Let's go to the next one. So next one, we're going to talk about BIDU. So BIDU was actually, opening trade loser because it did not bounce. It did give a setup later in the day versus 88. So I gave the BIDU long versus 88. So you see that if you waited on that dip on 88, that long worked, but the morning long from 89 broke 88.67. Technically, our stops were 88. So that trade was a loser because I was expecting that maybe the Chinese tech holds up a little stronger because they will have access to more of that AI and the Chinese-based AI. But it did not. So BIDU was a loser. I did give you a setup 34.50, but that's not what that's what I missed. But the morning trade was loser, and then it faded back. Let's go to the next one. All right, guys, next we're going to talk about Apple. Apple was our best trade long in the community today. We will talk about some other names as well, why the cloud and SaaS names were strong. But let's first focus on Apple here. So what was going on Apple? Let's look at our pre-market game plan on Apple. Let's go to our sheet. Our Apple levels were clear, 223, 223.62. Now, if you go back, I shared through our, by the way, make sure you guys follow our 10 charts account. So you can see that we shared this Apple chart, which also our swing versus 120. Reason being support versus 220, 220, 220, 220 support and gap. So that was our swing trade that we gave on January of 21st. We were still bearish, but once that goes higher, we'll confirm the long. The stops were at 217. So that was our daily chart, right? So we were holding our Apple swing on that 220, and we've been trading it a few times. Apple kind of failed the 1 hour clouds few times. Pulled, failed. But this morning I saw impressive strength. First of all, Apple was not gapping down with the market, right? Apple was not gapping down with the market. And Apple showed me amazing strength. That's why I told everybody right at the open that Apple is an MTF long, and the target is based off on ATR. ATR was, small, but as Apple started to push, this is your another ad at 512 Ripster clouds. 100% ATR is the first target. Then 230 was our second target, and it continued to push. It traded 150% ATR. You do not cut. If you ask me the target, you do not cut as long as 512 does not break. Day trade you can cut, but I told everybody hold the swing. Most targets met at 1141. Most target mets hold the swing. Then day trade stops were moved up under 228. Even they never hit it because it kept going. So you see that. So that was the Apple, guys. It was a nice trade, nice swing trade. Understand if the whole market is selling off, but Apple is showing the relative strength. So means investors are really interested in Apple. So Apple was superb today. Let's go to the next one. So now let's look at Meta. So here's the thing, guys. Semiconductor tech was weak because of everybody's artificial independent. But Meta was similarly cup and handle. You can see that Meta had a similar cup and handle as well, like other names, let's like SPY QQQ. But Meta held the strength over the MTF clouds. Meta held the strength on the MTF clouds. If you go to my pre-market plan on Meta, you can see that I said only long over 34.50. It was on our game plan, and Meta pushed over 34.50. So it becomes a long as well. And then it pushes over this MTF clouds, becomes long. And then I talked about it. Meta is positive because if DeepSeek actually makes AI much cheaper, then it's good for Meta, because Meta was already bullish when they decided to spend $65 billion as next year capex on artificial intelligence. Imagine if they don't have to spend that much money, then much money goes to the profits of the company. So it's overall bullish for the market. That's why it was bullish. The long setup was long right here, just how we did NVDA. But the difference between NVDA was trading way under the clouds. Meta was trading over the MTF clouds and pushed higher. I told everybody to hold. I gave 655 target, then I gave 660 target. We met both our 655, 660 target. Beautiful day trade. Exit here at 512. I gave the stops at 653. That's where you exit. Beautiful long from 636. Beautiful winner on Meta. Let's go to the next one. So next one, which was showing relative strength, was Amazon. The reason I want to recap Amazon here is same reason as Meta, because if Amazon is strong, because Amazon Amazon doesn't provide hardware for artificial intelligence, but it provides the base, the clouds. It provides this, the serverless platform for anybody to train artificial intelligence models, or if artificial intelligence has to train artificial intelligence, if you need software to train artificial intelligence and less hardware, guess what? Amazon is going to benefit, and that's what Amazon did. Fill the full gap fill. So that's why the focus would be there, right? We wasted some time on NVIDIA at the open. But lesson to be learned here is that go to the strong names, strength names. Let today be an important lesson for how you analyze the markets, right? So Amazon was super duper strong just because of those reasons I mentioned. And again, the system said it's long 3450, and then system was long over 1 hour MTM clouds as well. Let's go to the next one. So another thing, the other stocks which were strong today, not necessarily my guidance, but we saw them early, was the cloud names, right? As clouds as software names. So you see these names were strong right from the open, and we maintain a list of all the cloud stocks, and they were all green. I mean, I tweeted about it as well. Twilio was green, Workday, Twilio, everything was green. And if this trend stays intact, we would have to focus on these names in coming days, because SaaS clouds names, may provide. Again, I explained the reasoning before, why they were strong, CRM, why it was strong, Okta, Workday, all the software companies. And this was a rotation too, right? This was rotation as well. Why are we seeing it? So people selling AI and semiconductor stocks and moving into the SaaS clouds names. All right, next one we're going to look at is AT&T. That's called the T. T is AT&T. Let's see the plan on AT&T. Bullish bias to pull back long. Support was $23 or $23.20. Resistance was $23.61. Let's see how AT&T worked out. So AT&T, if you traded the amateur move the first 10 minutes based upon the plan I gave to long versus 23.61, you did pretty good. Right away, big push. You're done for the day. First 10 minutes trading it. Now, if you wanted the second setup came later in the day when it dipped towards this 512 clouds. Then it gave you a 512 calls, and then you take it from 23.80, 23.90 all the way to 24.47, right? So definitely a winning trade. AT&T from 23.65 all that way to 24.47. That was our earning setup. Good small account setup. Pre-market guidance, levels given, long in this morning idea. Beautiful trade. So other names which were short today, again, CEG. Let's look at CEG. All the nuclear names which worked A+ from the game plan. So you can see that I had OKLO, energy providers impacted by DeepSeek. I had wrong spelling there. DeepSeek. So anyways, they were DeepSeek and then CEG. So these two were short, right? What did I say? CEG, bearish bias under 290. OKLO, bearish bias to short the both names. And let's just, I don't even need to talk too much about here. 290 breaks, take it a short. 290 to 274, beautiful short. And a lot of traders were shorting later in the day on the failed calls as well. Same was for NNE. Beautiful short, failed 512s, take a short, all day fade. Same for OKLO, all day short. My focus mainly was CEG. Was a beautiful trade, live guidance there. Let's look at NNE. NNE was NNE was also no short right and the open, but when it failed, right here becomes the short. So initially there's no short, but when it fails right here, this is where you short. So 952, it was not a short, but we still had the plan right here. Where is it? Right here. bearish bias to short, the short both. But when this breaks this is where you short. So anyways, beautiful trade. CEG, NNE, short winners. Let's look at the next one now. So next one we're going to look at is Lilly. Lilly was a special one because Lilly was also over 1 hour long, 50 EMA MTF long trade. That's why I want to specifically mention it. So you see that Lilly was right here. I highlighted it in red as a day 2, day 3 setup, 775, 782 support. Usually I say that it's an MTF cloud setup, but you can see that how it was flagging under the MTF clouds on Lilly. It was a beautiful call out by the traders in the community, and that's why it was a nice long winner. There's some other day 2 setups as well, which were really nice. EA was really nice. EA was day 3 long today. Nice push, you could see that. So anyways, that was it for today, guys. Going to be exciting week. Make sure you're ready. Make sure you're following the system. Make sure you're not taking any D minus, C minus trades. Hopefully you learned a lot into this video about all this craziness going on, and hopefully you understood when to long, when to short, and what is a B plus, A plus, B minus, A minus short or long setups, guys, and relative strength. Thank you.